In this video, we'll give you everything you need to know about the 2024 PGA Championship, including gambling, DFS, rankings, tiers, and more. I'm Alan Seslowsky of RotoWire.com, along with the expert, Len Hochberg. Len, let's start with the course. Where is the 2024 PGA Championship going to be played?
It'll be in Valhalla in Louisville, Kentucky. We've seen this course before in the past, most recently for the PGA Championship in 2014, 10 years ago, won by Rory Mcilroy there. Was also in play in 2000. Tiger won. And 1996, that was the year that Mark Brooks beat Kentucky native Kenny Perry.
Are there any changes to the course this year?
The courses are just getting longer and longer and longer. Back in 1996 and 2000, they were about 7,100 yards in change. The Valhalla was now about 500 yards more, playing over 7,600 yards for a par 71.
All right, let's start at the top with our favorites. Our number one ranked player in your article, which will be linked in the video description below, it's Scottie Scheffler.
I don't think there will be anyone who would pick anybody but Scottie Scheffler as number one in their rankings. He's so far number one in golf right now, and he just played the Masters. He just won the Masters, and some of the live guys who are also excellent golfers and very high in my rankings, they were non-factors in the tournament. So Scheffler clearly separated himself to the point that almost I was thinking of in my rankings of leaving number two blank and just going to number three just to show the wide gap between the two. But Scheffler is clearly the number one golfer in the world right now.
In your number two position, officially, you have Brooks Koepka, who was a stunning non-factor at the Masters, Len.
Just about everybody expected Brooks Koepka and Jon Rahm coming over from LIV to play with the PGA Tour guys for the first time in many months to really make a good showing. And neither one really performed. They both made the cut. But Brooks Koepka, we've seen too many times. He's won 5 majors. We've seen too many times that he can just show up and turn it on. But actually, since the Masters, Brooks Koepka has won a LIV tournament in Singapore. And that just sort of serves notice that, hey, I'm still around. And if Brooks Koepka could win a 6th major, and even though Scottie Scheffler is the favorite, I don't think anyone is discounting Brooks Koepka this week. That would put him into very rarefied air in the history of golf. He would have 6 majors. That would put him in a tie for 12th all time. Some real heavyweights in the golf world are there.
Number 4, we have ranked Rory Mcilroy. It's been a little bit since he's won a major, Len.
It is now officially 10 years since Rory Mcilroy has won a major, and he won 4 of them in short order earlier in his career. And if you would have said to anybody back in 2014 when he won at Valhalla over Phil Mickelson that would be his last major or his last major for 10 years, people would have thought you were crazy. And it's not like he hasn't come close. He has so many top 10s, so many top 5s. He's come close so many times, and it just something always seems to go wrong. And you would think if there's ever a place where he could recreate the magic that won him the majors back earlier in his career, it would be where he won previously. We shall see.
In our Masters video that we did for RotoWire, you called out Ludvig Åberg.
And Ludvig Åberg, also in the top 10 in the world. He has never played in a major. He has been on the Ryder Cup team. He's done a lot of things already in golf at only 25 years old.
You now have him solidly in your top 5.
That was he's played his first major at the Masters, and all he did was finish second to Scottie Scheffler all by himself. No shame in that. I mean, clearly is going to be a generational player, and he will win majors. Maybe not this week. You would think that going to Augusta National for the first time would really be a much larger learning curve than playing Valhalla for the first time. It will be a tough course at Valhalla. Well, now we're going to a course where it's really a bomber's paradise, and the longer and the straighter you can hit it, the more benefit that will be. And that is certainly Ludvig Åberg's game. Number 5 in the rankings, no hesitation there.
Speaking of players with experience, let's move down to your next tier. At number 13 right now, you have Justin Thomas. What are his prospects?
Yeah, well, Justin Thomas is really a very difficult guy to gauge because he used to be one of the top players in the world, and he's really fallen on hard times. He has not won in a couple of years since the 2022 PGA Championship. But, you know, interestingly, looking at him this year, he has had some high-profile missed cuts. The Players' Championship, the Masters. I mean, that doesn't bode well for this week. But if you look at his other tournaments, he has very quietly amassed 5 top 12 finishes. So really very confusing, a lot of mixed signals. He's also undergone a caddy change, famously separating with Bones Mackay. Now as a new veteran Matt Minister on the bag. He finished 5th at the RBC Heritage.
Xander Schauffele going to be knocking on the door. We know that. You have him firmly in the first, let's go Scottie Scheffler's his own tier. So let's say the next tier, we have him ranked at number 6.
He is the master of coming so close and not winning. He's just has so many top 10s and top 5s and gets in the mix so many weeks. He was like top 10 at the Masters. He just always is. His major record, the consistency is amazing. How many high finishes he has, but he just never gets it done. He has no majors. He hasn't won anywhere in the world coming up in 2 years now since the 2022 Scottish Open, which was played in the summer of 2022. So not quite 2 years.
Who's somebody outside of our top 20, Len, that you feel right away that you might be a little too low on?
It's like Talor Gooch, who's really a lightning rod, really an outspoken guy. He was really tearing up LIV last year. He had 3 wins and famously wasn't invited, the majors and wasn't in the Masters. Well, he just got an invite into the PGA Championship, which was really very surprising. A bunch of LIV guys got in, but they have been playing elsewhere outside of LIV, in Asia and South Africa. Talor Gooch has been pretty defiant and has not done that. He just wants to get in on his LIV merits. Well, he is in now, and he is in my 30s somewhere. And I don't know if that's too low. I don't know if that's too high.
Let's switch over the conversation for a moment to DFS. If you're playing DraftKings or any of the other sites, what's a good basic strategy when you have such a large field like this for the PGA Championship?
Well, one of the things in all these majors, maybe not so much the Masters, but even the Masters, which has only a field of about 90, these next 3 majors will have the maxed out 156. When all the top golfers in the world are there, invariably, some of the top guys have to move down into the 8s or even in the 7s. There's really a lot of value in those guys.
Want to talk a little legal sports betting right now. Len, I like to bet a little and win a lot. Who's somebody that's down the rankings, maybe not to win it all, but that could have a top 10, top 5 finish? Who's somebody that represents a nice value to you right now?
Patrick Reed, who is, really the bad guy, the evil desperado of golf, who people love to hate. I have him in my top 25. He just, we know he plays well at the Masters. We know he's won the Masters, but he really plays well at all the majors. I think he just really likes to just prove people wrong and piss people off by playing well. More than he likes playing well, he just likes the reaction of people getting pissed off. And so I do have him in my top 25, and I was a little surprised when I came to that conclusion. But candidly, he plays well in the big tournaments, and you will see decent numbers on him in any format you're going to.
Tell me a player in the top 10 who's most likely to bust, basically finish way below your top 10 ranking.
Seems to be guys like Rory McIlroy and Bryson DeChambeau. He had never really played well at the Masters before, but he did last time. But he's always played well at the PGA. A couple of top 5s at the PGA. These types of courses, PGA Championship, US Open, much more suitable for DeChambeau's long game. But who might bust? Well, DeChambeau always seems to make the one boneheaded mistake that costs him, where he tries to outthink himself and just doesn't really rely on his just immense talent and tries to do something that's just a bit wacky.
All right, it's bold prediction time, Len. Who's going to win the 2024 PGA Championship?
I just can't go anywhere else but Scottie Scheffler this week.
If you enjoy videos like this, consider hitting the like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell to get notified when RotoWire puts up new video content every day. Baseball, football, golf, everything. And right now, you can click the link in the video description below to see Len Hochberg's full set of rankings. And if you want to get behind RotoWire's paywall, you can do so right now for free. Just go to rotowire.com/try, rotowire.com/try, put in your email, and the paywall unlock.